Hey friends, it's Ashley and I'm so excited to be back on the Hip Kit design team. I was on the team previously around 2015 to 2017 and I'm excited to be kicking off the new term today with a layout using the February 2019 kits. So I'm getting started here. There's a mix of Pink Fresh Studio, crepe paper, Cartabella in the kit, and I wanted to use this frame pattern paper that is from the Pink Fresh Studio Joyful Day collection, and I wanted to use it as is. It might look busy, but I'm going to show you a fun way to use it, and I'm going to actually make it a little bit busier. And since my layout is going to be very colorful, I decided to turn my photo black and white. That would help it stand out in contrast against all of the color that I'm going to be adding to the layout. And I'm going to add my title with these stickers from the Joyful Day collection from Pink Fresh Studio. I like that these are kind of really skinny, tall letters. And I'm going to add the title Be Happy. So I wanted to start with the word happy first so I could get that in place, and then that way I could kind of tuck the word be up above it. And I really like that this has a lot of each letter so you don't run out really quick. You have plenty of letters to work with in this alpha set. So now that I have my title and my photo done, I'm going to kind of systematically work through the embellishments and the pattern papers that I chose to finish decorating, embellishing my layout. And these little chipboard frames are also from Pink Fresh Studio. These are really fun. You can see they're kind of layered and nested here, so you have several sizes, a small, a medium, and a large. And I'm using the small ones out of the center. And I want to kind of create a visual triangle with these around the page. Since I'm using 3 of them, I just kind of place them inside some of the pattern paper frames to create that visual triangle look. And so I really like the way that that turned out, and now I'm going to move to this pack of embellishments. And I really like this embellishment pack because you get layered puffy stickers, you get the little button type brad, not really brad, but the little wood buttons that have the dimensional foam on the back, and I'm going to add one of those in each of those chipboard frames. And you also get enamel dots. So this pack of embellishments really gives you a lot to choose from. And I'm going to use some of everything. You can see I use 3 of the wood buttons. I'm going to use pretty much most all of the layered puffy stickers. And then I'm going to use some of the enamel dots a little bit later on. These are chipboard pieces and they are from Cartabella, and I'm just going to use a couple of these. Usually if there's something in a kit that is not really fitting with the layout that you're currently working on, you can usually find something that you can use, like word phrases, which I used here, and also some flowers that kind of go also with what I'm working on. So I chose some of the yellow ones. So I was able to pull some things from that chipboard pack that I could use. And same thing with this ephemera pack. It didn't really have kind of the theme that I was going for on this layout, but there was one little piece that I was able to pull from this and use. And that's just kind of a really fast look at what all is included in that ephemera pack. But I just used this little banner piece that says magical. And I'm going to add some foam behind that just to pop it up and give it a little bit of dimension because I want it to sit over my title. And I don't really mind that it kind of covers up the bottom of the P's because those are still long enough that you can tell what that says. So now that I've kind of finished with the embellishments, I'm going to work on some fussy cutting. I love pattern papers that give you the opportunity to fussy cut, and there are several in the February kit that you can do that with. There are some little phrases that I wanted to use from that Cartabella paper. So I'm just going to use my little paper trimmer to trim those out. And you can see that I'm basically just filling up the frames with different things, different types of embellishments, phrases, and that kind of gives a lot of interest to your layout because you've got a lot of different dimensions, textures going on. And I don't fill in every frame. I do leave some of them unfilled, but most of the layout is filled by the time that I finish it. And I really like that look. This would be great. A great technique if you have some embellishments left over from kits that you're not sure what to do with. You can kind of coordinate those and mix them together to create a layout like this that has a lot of embellishing on it. This paper is from crepe paper, and I really like the hearts. These are great for fussy cutting. So I'm going to pull some of those out of there that I can fussy cut around. And I'm cutting right up against the heart. I'm not leaving any kind of border around that. I wanted it to be cut right up against the shape. And so I cut some of those that match the colors in the Pink Fresh Studio paper, just the red, the blue, and then the light pink. And you can see that I'm going to use those kind of also in a visual triangle. Anything that I use in threes like that, if it's the same type of embellishment, I kind of like to try to keep it in a visual triangle just to help your eye go around the page. And this is another one of the pattern papers from Pink Fresh Studio, Joyful Day. And so I'm going to also fussy cut some pieces from this. The little phrase here says, "This is us." And this was actually a photo from Mother's Day last year. So that kind of little phrase goes well with the photo. And I'm just going to look through this one to see what else I want to cut out. It also has some little phrases that are perfect for going in those frames. And don't worry if you overlap your frame or if you're not inside your frame perfectly. It's kind of just supposed to look handmade. It's a scrapbook layout, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Just get it the way that you want it, because you'll see that some of my pieces are a little bit outside the edges of the frame, and I don't mind that at all. I think it looks really good and just gives interest to the page. So this is another little phrase that I'm cutting out here, and I like to trim those edges a little bit too, because sometimes there's just too much on the ends, so I just kind of trim that down a little bit too to get it closer to the words. And this page has a lot of pieces that you can cut out. You could even cut these squares out and create your own kind of custom background paper with that if you wanted to. I just wanted to do certain pieces out of this, but then I can actually save what I have left over if there's something that I want to use on another layout. So I still have those extra little squares to use wherever I want to. And I liked this little piece right here with the bow. It actually says "Sweet Little Things." And I debated whether I wanted to cut the bow off and just use the "Sweet Little Things." But since I had that larger frame right there, I decided to keep the bow and all of it together. And you can see that that one doesn't fit exactly into the frame. So that's one of the ones that I mentioned that kind of goes outside of it. But I really like the way that that looks. And if I wanted to, I could have kind of cut those corners on a diagonal, and that would have kept it inside the frame. But I liked having the contrast of the little square piece inside that frame. And then this is another phrase that I'm adding, and it says "For now, forever, and for always." And it actually also had this little floral piece, kind of like a little floral banner. And I wanted to use that also. And so I kind of trim a little bit off after I've already put my adhesive on, and I add that vertically to that frame that's kind of going off the page right there. I really liked the look of that, so I wanted to get that on there. And then this bird was so cute, I had to use it, so I decided to fussy cut it also. And I'm going to get him cut out, and he's going to go at the bottom of the page. I felt like I wanted some more blue down there, and he brought that little bit of blue down to the bottom of the layout. And now I am going to go ahead and add those enamel dots that I had from earlier. And I'm just going to use those in some of the open frames that I did not have anything added into yet. And I'm just trying to kind of randomly place those according to the size and colors around the layout, just so that I don't have anything bumping up against one another, just so I have that variety around the page. And I'm going to finish off with my date here and just add it into one of those empty squares. So I hope you enjoyed watching today. You can find all of these products on the Hip Kit Club website, so make sure you check that out. I will leave a link in the description box below, and you can see my finished layout and some close-ups here. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.